It's because I'm very nervous. I'm afraid I'm going to have the water spill out of the pail here, so I'm going to concentrate on making the water go in here instead of talking to you. So please bear with me.
Howdy doodle 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 doo. Howdy doodle 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 doo.
Water, an incredibly important component of any farm, and particularly of this farm because, as I've said previously, we have two seasons here. We have a wet season and a dry season, and because of global warming, climate change, our dry season, we basically don't get any water for almost 6 months. So we have to make whatever we get last. Now, among the challenges that we face here with respect to water is that we cannot build a pond here without spending a lot of money to do it. And we don't have a lot of money, and so that kind of cancels that out right away. Why? Because we have what is called volcanic clay here, or terracotta. And that type of clay is not the kind that you use to seal things. It's actually quite flaky when it dries up, and it just doesn't hold water. So that is out for us. So we have two wells. One is a hand-dug well, and the other is a machine-dug well. So we have water, but they're down below. They're here at the bottom of the finca, of the farm, not at the top. And we want our water to be up at the top. So what I decided to do a couple of years ago was to put a series of tanks, water tanks, up at the top of the farm, and we could use those tanks to water our trees. And that was a great idea. Unfortunately, COVID happened, and that put the whole project on hold for 2 years, a little more than 2 years, and now we're just getting started with it again. But in the meantime, we've still had to bring water up to the trees up at the higher parts of the finca, and that's what I'm going to do today. And it's not my favorite thing to do, carry water up there, but it's necessary for the time being. Hopefully soon we'll solve the problem and get the tanks up there, but for now we have to do it by hand. Now, while you're watching me, I mentioned in the first video I did that I have an interest in musical composition, and one of my musical compositions, called Hauling Water, that's the title of it, is going to play while you're watching me carry the water up and water the trees. So I hope you enjoy it. I'll get a little closer. This tree here is called a mangosteen, and it has a very delicious fruit. It's a purple mangosteen, and we hope that we're going to get some fruit from it at some point if the ants will leave it alone. The ants keep coming and eating up all the new growth. So that's a big challenge for us. Let's go around here. This is a lemon tree, and I'm going to give this a little bit of water. Has some worm tea in it as well, which is a good fertilizer. Let's go to the next one. This one is called a níspero. It's a brown sugar fruit, also known as brown sugar fruit. It tastes like brown sugar when eating it. It's a member of the sapote family. One here is an avocado that has lost its leaves, so this one needs plenty of water. But it's still okay. There's still some leaves budding out here, so it's not a lost cause. This is a regular orange tree. Only about a year old. This is another níspero, brown sugar fruit. We have another lemon tree in here. That the ants are having a field day with also. And then down here, this is a loquat, another it's an Asian fruit. Very delicious fruit, nice and sweet. Now, obviously, this is not an ideal situation, and we're working to correct it. So, it's not something that I plan on doing on a permanent basis. But for now, it's a necessity on the farm. So you may be wondering, why did you plant the trees before you solved the water problem? Well, we thought we had the water problem solved earlier, and it turns out that we didn't. And so it's a little more complicated of a situation. And the climate changes made things orders of magnitude worse here in Nicaragua than they used to be. So the water was not as big of a problem even just a couple years ago. So I guess I'll leave it at that.